Hey, Shalom, Israel. If I can get y'all like and share the class, let everybody know we live, all right? Shalom, shalom. We're going to be getting started in a second, y'all. All right. Damn, class ain't pop up for me. I'm trying to share the class. All right. All right. Shalom, Israel. You live with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Priest and Captain Soccer War coming to you all live from Memphis, Tennessee. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We have classes here in Memphis. The address to the Memphis school is 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. Where classes are from 6 to 8 p.m. Central, Tuesday through Thursday. Since 1969, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge has been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And in the year 2023, there is nothing more important than for God's chosen people to find out the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is here on the earth. And what we like to do with these classes is give brothers and sisters an opportunity to go into this book called the Bible to gain the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that God has placed therein for us to receive in this time that we're living in so that we can change and become the people that He called us to be. And along with becoming the people that God called us to be, is us fulfilling the role that He has carved out for us on this earth so that we can set the standard and the example of righteousness for all peoples across the planet so that everyone can understand how it is that they are supposed to and were meant to be living on the earth. And that's going to take me into the topic of tonight's class. The title of the class is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And the idea for this class came from a question that was asked last night. Two questions that came up in last night's class. Trooper Ash Bagarami had asked a question about forgiving someone and continually forgiving them in 70 times 7. And we had a discussion about um, forgiveness being for the person who is letting go of the wrong that was done to them rather than it being for the person who has done the wrong. It's going to be many instances in your life where you are going to forgive someone even though they may not seek the forgiveness or they may not ask for the forgiveness. You forgive so that you don't carry a grudge and want vengeance, to be taken into your hands. It's putting it in the Lord's hands. Someone does something wrong. We know that we serve a God who is just, and we are going to allow him to be the one who declares what the punishment shall be rather than taking it into our own hands. And so that created, one train of thought for me for a class. And then another question was asked concerning who's responsible for the current condition of our people today, seeing that we have had leaders who have led us astray, men who have proclaimed to be men of God, perpetrated to be men of God, but have given us a doctrine and a belief that goes completely against what's written in the Bible and goes completely against the ways that God established for us to live. Who's to blame for our current condition, seeing as though many of us have just followed the path that was set before us? Many of us, like the sheep that God calls us in the Bible, have been led by shepherds who have caused us to go astray. And we in discussing that, we went through Jeremiah, the 23rd chapter, where the Lord was very clear about the destruction being unto his pastors who have led his people to go astray. And then that got me thinking about the various roles that many of us play in life. And discussing the plight of the sinner last night and talking about not helping the sinner made me think about the people who have been put in our lives to be examples of what not to do. The people who, and for all of us, we know who those people are. All of us have grown up in communities and in situations and circumstances where we've witnessed the fall or the destruction or the punishment of God coming down on someone for choosing a path that goes against him. Like all of us got them examples of people who just man, life did them dirty. And you look and you like, damn man, how did they go from this to that? And as you analyze that and you look at their situation and their circumstances, a lot of the times you can see that man, they bought this on themselves, man. That's how they were, they were living, not living the right way, weren't doing the right things, went down a path that took them in a place where, no person should ever have to go. And so that brought me to the topic of tonight's class, which is the good, the bad, and the ugly. And those are the various roles that people play in life on the earth. I believe it was, I don't want to misquote. I'm going to go ahead and get the direct quote for the class. It made me think of something that back in my conspiracy theory days, it's something I believe. Let me see something. All right. Okay, this is a quote, comes from William Shakespeare in one of his plays. Right, I believe it was oh, where was it? See if I can pull it up exactly. Um it's called As You Like It is the play. And in Act 2, Scene 7, in a speech concerning the 7 ages of man, it begins with all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. You understand? And what does that mean? That means, in this analysis or observation of life, this man saw all the world as being one big play, one big performance with everybody just playing their role. And that's one way to look at life, man. If you look at your life, look at all of our lives individually, we all are starring in our own movie. And if we are all the star in our own movie, then all the different people who we encounter and interact with in life are just side characters. I use this analogy. I play video games, and in video games, there are characters that are called NPCs, or are non-person characters. And these NPCs are programmed to perform different functions that can help push the narrative of the story, or just provide, side quests, or side distractions, or just add to the depth of the immersion of the world that you're um, getting into in a video game. And if you think about your life as a movie, then all of the people who we interact with on a daily basis are all NPCs. You know what I'm saying? And if you those NPCs have the capacity or the ability to take you on all types of side quests and all types of missions, and get you off of the path of completing the mission of the game, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those ideas, man, you could really get wrapped up in if you dive into it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to. This is not going to be a philosophical class. I'm not going to make this any type of philosophy. We're going to go into the scriptures and show you how God established for everyone to have their own role and to play their own position. And with every one of us being the star in our own movie, how we allow the NPCs or the other characters in our story to dictate the way in which we maneuver goes to determine whether we are the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right, so we're gonna get into that tonight. If anybody has any questions, type them in online. If you got any questions in the room, raise your hand. All right, any and all questions are welcome. Last night's class, the way it flowed was really, we went to places that I wasn't anticipating because of the questions. So I always stress and urge you brothers and sisters to ask questions, because you never know how something you may be thinking or pondering can lead to someone else gaining some much needed understanding or clarity concerning what it is that we are seeking to accomplish with these classes. All right, go ahead and get this incense lit if I could. After I light this incense, we can go ahead and get into it. All right. So right now, if anybody got any questions, y'all go ahead and pop them up. All right. Also, too, man, I'm trying to expand the school's social media presence. So if you like and follow the school, the Home of the Truth Memphis on Facebook, No Cowards Memphis on YouTube, I'll be sharing shorts and various clips from classes going forward, and I might reach into the past of some of these classes that we've taught. If you see a reel, or if you see a clip, if you see anything being posted by ISUPK, by Home of the Truth Memphis, please share it on social media, man. Help us to expand the scope of our presence online. You know what I'm saying? Really pushing to try and get brothers and sisters in the city to know what it is that we do here in ISUPK, what we teach, and why it's important. If y'all notice, a lot of the times these classes be getting started about 6:30, and I know y'all be tuning in like, man, he say 6 to 8 every night, but the classes don't be starting at 6:30. Well, a large part of that is because I'm holding out for new students coming in. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to interrupt the flow of the class to have to go and let somebody in through the security protocols we have. So I try to give people a buffer to be able to get here on time. You understand? So if you ever see the classes getting started a little bit later than that 6 o'clock, that's because I'm trying to hold out for somebody to either call or report in, or let me know, hey, I'm downstairs. I'm trying to get into the school. So that's why these classes be getting started a little bit late. But don't worry, once the Lord, we get the ball rolling and brothers and sisters start to get in here, y'all gonna see, man. It's gonna be a beautiful, glorious thing to see what the Lord is gonna do here in this city of Memphis, Tennessee. All right. But with that, let's go ahead and get right into it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's go ahead and get Ecclesiastes Ecclesiastes in the Bible after the book of Psalms, after the book of Proverbs, and we're gonna really start at verse 1. You understand? Let's see, Ecclesiastes. Let's see something. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, this is Ecclesiastes. See something. All right, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 12. All right. Now remember, the book of Ecclesiastes was written by King Solomon. And King Solomon in this book of Ecclesiastes references himself as the preacher. Right? And the preacher is the one who was narrating this this entire book. And the preacher is sharing his experiences searching and seeking out wisdom and understanding of life on the earth. And this comes from a period in Solomon's life where Solomon was the wisest king to ever live on the earth. Solomon was also one of the wealthiest men to ever live on the earth. And in his wisdom and in his wealth, Solomon set out to find the meaning of life, to find out what fulfilled man and gave him purpose and gave him meaning. And so at different parts of his life, as you read in the book of Ecclesiastes, the preacher goes to find satisfaction, goes to find joy and wisdom and purpose. So there's a part of his life where he goes out and he uses his wealth to go and build great monuments and great feats of architecture to see if that would fulfill him. And all of his work of all his building and all of his architecture, he found out that it was all vanity, meaning it meant nothing. There's a part in his life where he dedicated it to the joy of women and marrying women and finding the most beautiful women all over the planet and making them happy and having sex with them and living it up and doing it big. And he found out that, man, and all the women that he would have, that there was, in the end, it was all vanity and vexation of spirit. Another part of his life, he set it to folly or to fun and having a good time. He went out and partied and drank and did party. And he did all of the fun that he could do in his life. And he found in the end that it all was vanity. It all meant nothing. So in his book of Ecclesiastes, if you read it and you understand the context, it could allow for someone who is searching for purpose to understand that you won't find it in making money, that you won't find it in getting women, that you won't find it in studying and learning and obtaining all the knowledge and understanding that you can. You won't find purpose. And in the end, in this book of Ecclesiastes, he sums up his journey and his experiences in life by saying that the whole duty of man is to obey God and keep his commandments. Like that was the only thing that he found that gave him purpose. That was the only thing in life that made it worthwhile to him, was to obey God and to do what the Lord said to do. And that's a very heavy thing, man, because a lot of us are in life. We can maneuver in and out of phases of playing the role of the good, the bad, or the ugly. You understand? And I'm gonna define who's the good, who's the bad, and who the ugly is in a second. But I remember when I came into the truth, and this all applies to the class. I remember when I came into the truth. Um, I had gone through many phases in my life, many phases of belief, many phases of understanding, many phases of, knowing what my purpose was. And I remember when I came into the truth, people who were in my life at the time thought that this was just another phase. Like they thought that me being in the truth and me obeying God and I don't smoke weed no more. Nah, man, I ain't messing with them hoes and nah, I'm not working right now, man. I'm doing I'm with the brothers, man, trying to get this truth out. A lot of people thought it was just a phase. Oh man, he doing that today. We'll see where he at in a month or two, or we'll see where he at. Sooner or later, doing that down the road, we'll see where he's at. And I think a lot of people, man, felt when and I know a lot of people who knew me just knew that man, he ain't gonna be on this crazy shit for long, man. That nigga, he tripping, bro. He'll be back around. And I just, those people no longer being in my life, I know that they see, even if they're not paying attention or they're not trying to see it, I know they see like, man, that nigga really stuck with that Hebrew thing. You know what I'm saying? And even for myself, in the world, I had a reputation of starting something but never finishing it. Even within myself, I was, always starting things and getting off to a great start, but never finishing it. And I remember when I came into the truth, I had determined that this was going to be something that I was going to finish. This was not going to be just another thing that I started and didn't finish. And because what really sealed the deal for me was coming into the truth came with so many extreme changes. It came with, so many determination of so many relationships and so many friendships. And, I had never encountered as much pushback um, with joining the truth as I had with any of the other phases that I went through in life. And so coming into the truth and seeing all of the turmoil and all of the distance it caused and all the relationships I maintained in life at that time, it was like, man, this thing must be real. And then reading in the Bible about Christ not coming to bring peace but a sword, and to cause division, and to decide to see who's going to choose to serve the Lord and who's not. All of those things really, and drove home the point to me that this was real, man. This is the truth. This is something that's spiritual and righteous, and I'm living the life of the people in the Bible. And I look back now and I realize that all of that was a part of me now coming into playing the role of the good in life. You understand? So with the good, the bad, well, we're going to go into it after I read the scripture, all right? So this is Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 12. It says, the preacher was king over Israel in Jerusalem. And I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. This sore travail has God given to the sons of man to be exercised therewith. I have seen all the works that are done under the heaven, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. I communed with mine own heart, saying, lo, I am come to great estate, and have gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yea, my heart had great experience and wisdom. So like great experience of wisdom and knowledge. And I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I perceived that this also is vexation of spirit. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increases knowledge increases sorrow. So let me explain what it is that Solomon is saying here. He is saying that he determined to search out, using wisdom, all of the things that are done, all of the different paths that man can take in life. And he realized that for every man, the path that they choose, it's sore travail, meaning it's hard work getting through life, finding your way through life. Whichever path you choose, whichever way you decide to go, life is hard, right? And he realized that all the works that are done under the sun is vanity and vexation of spirit, meaning all the things that we do pursuing purpose and pursuing fulfillment in life, man, it's all for nothing. Why? Because somebody who works to be rich and to have a lot of money, right? What happens when they die? Do they take those riches and their wealth with them? Nah. Somebody who's working hard to get some money you hear a lot of people that they talk about they want to be financially stable, right? What the hell is that? What is financial stability when every time you increase in the amount of money you're making, you increase in the amount of money you're spending? Someone who's living on a median income, right? Which is the white man calls you making less than 30,000 a year or less than 40,000 a year now. That's median income, right? So that's somebody who's really making enough money to pay for their rent, put their food and clothes, and they for their family, provide, and then maybe got a little bit of money left over for savings, little extracurricular activities, and it's right back to work next month, right? That's someone. What happens when you begin to get more money? If you're living in a community that's fit, what happens when you can afford to live in a better community? How many people stay in the community they're in when they make enough money to live somewhere better? They make enough money to have, live in a community with better schools and where they come and pick the trash up on time and where, they got street sweepers that'll come clean the neighborhood. How many people say, no, I don't need all of that, man. I'm going to stay in the neighborhood where I'm at? Not a lot of people. Most people, if you elevating the amount of money you're making, you want to feel like I'm elevating, so I'm going to move to a nicer neighborhood. Well, what comes with that nicer neighborhood? A higher cost of living, higher rent, higher bills. Now you got to pay for them to come sweep the street. You got to pay for that trash to be picked up on time. So now what have you done? You've increased in the amount of money you're making, but now because of your elevation in lifestyle, you've now increased in the amount of money you have to pay. So now what do you have to do? I got to get more money. So you go and you find a way to bust your butt and put your mind to it, and then you get more money. Now you're getting more money. I gotta go get me a nicer car. Can't drive this bucket around no more. This point A to point B car is all right, but I gotta get me a better car. Yeah, I can get me a car note now. I can afford it, and I can pay for my insurance. I ain't got to ride hoping the Lord is with me with all these crazy drivers in Memphis. I'm paying for insurance now. I'm legit. Well, guess what? That costs more money. People who are searching to be financially stable don't realize that you'll never be financially stable because you'll always be desiring and needing to make more money to afford the lifestyle that you are chasing and trying to achieve. You understand? Someone, what's the word I'm looking for? I look at people who are wealthy according to my standards, right? Like I look at an NFL player. Cat played in the NFL for 11 years, right? Man, he made a whole lot of money playing football. Then he finishes playing football, and 2 years after he retires, now he's the guy on TV talking about football. And you might say to yourself, "Damn, man, that's nice, man. He played football. Now he get to talk about it all day." But why is he doing that job? Why is he the talking about football guy? Because he need that money to continue to be able to pay his bills and afford the lifestyle that he had when he was a football player. Even if he wanted to not talk about football, he has to do something to keep money coming in. That guy talking about football ain't doing that job because it's fun or because he truly enjoys it. He's doing it because it pays the bills, which lets you know he can't really afford to not do that job. People who are salesmen, right? You can look at these infomercials, or you might see on TV, I made great success being a real estate mogul. I've bought and sold homes, and I want to help teach you how to buy and sell homes too. You can be rich and have money just like I am. And you like, damn, man, this guy who got rich selling homes, he gonna teach me how to sell homes. Then you go to the show that he has, and it might be free for you to get in there. But then the whole time that you're in this show, he's trying to sell you this book where you could learn his tips and his tools, or sell you this ebook or this internet course that you can take where you can learn all the tools of the trade and the tricks of the trade. And you go and you be like, damn, $500 for 2-week course. Why I gotta pay $500 for this course if you the rich real estate guy that can teach me how to make money? The reality is that guy did not get rich in real estate. He got rich telling people, I can teach you how to get rich in real estate. And his whole wealth comes from you paying $500 for that ebook. Not just you, but the other 50 people who are in this room. He get 100 people in the room where he can present to them all his tips and tools on how to make money in real estate. He's not getting paid making money in real estate. He's getting paid making you think that you can get rich in real estate. So his job ain't really selling houses. Right. His job is selling people on the idea that they can get rich selling houses. That's work. Anybody who's really rich and wealthy, they ain't got to sell nobody nothing. They can just kick back and not give a damn. Hey, you find out your own way. They're out there pitching to you that you can get rich like I did, because that's how they get rich. That's how they keep their money. Everybody understand? I said all that to say If money is what you think is going to make you happy, you'll never be happy because there'll never be enough money. If women is what you think will make you happy, man, I wish I had a woman. Wish I had a woman that would cook and clean for me, man. I wish I had a woman that was, you know, pretty like these girls on Instagram. I wish I had a woman that was nasty and freaky like, these whatever you into. Brother, you never going to find that. You might have the perfect woman, a woman that most men would kill to have in their life, and you would not appreciate her because, yeah, but she don't do this thing. She don't do that. Listen, all of it is vanity and vexation of spirit, and that is what Solomon is talking about. Everybody understands that in searching for purpose in life, a lot of people stress themselves over things, or not stress themselves. A lot of people waste their lives worrying about things that aren't important to their purpose, aren't important to why they are on the earth. Everybody understands. So, in speaking of the good, the bad, and the ugly, the good in life are the people who obey the Lord, the people who serve the Most High, right? Not just the people who serve the Most High, but the people who enjoy serving the Most High. There are some people in life who, man, let's get the scriptures. Let me go into the scriptures on this, all right? Come on with it, sis.
Why is Solomon called the preacher?
He's referencing himself. He's calling himself the preacher because he's preaching. You understand what I'm saying? In the book of Ecclesiastes, he's not saying, and then I, Solomon, did this. He's saying the preacher. All right, so that's just, and I think I can't speak for Solomon why he would do that, but I think it was to not draw attention to it being him, but draw attention to him being someone who did this for everyone else. Like he undertook this path of searching out wisdom and knowledge and understanding to be able to preach it to the people, to tell the people about it. So this life, Solomon was a man who didn't look at it like, I'm so great and amazing and wonderful. He looked at it like, I'm the preacher. It's my job to be able to tell the people these things, warn the people of these things. That's how he looked at himself, as the preacher. All right. Let me drop that. So we're speaking about the good, right? Let's go ahead and get First John chapter 5, verse 3, I believe. All right, this is First John chapter 5, verse 2. I'll say verse 2. All right. By this we know that we love the children of God when we love God and keep his commandments. Verse 3, for this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. Everybody understands? This was John establishing what the love of God was. You understand? And for someone who loves God, keeping his commandments are not grievous. They're not difficult. It's not a stress. It's not a vexation of spirit or vanity. Keeping the commandments of God is what gives you purpose. Everybody understands? Let me see. See something. All right, hold up. We get let's get Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 6. Matter of fact, let's get let's get Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 6. All right. And this is all part of being good, all right? People who play the role of the good in this life are the people who these scriptures apply to, all right? So Deuteronomy 31 and 6 says, be strong and of a good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them. For the Most High thy God, he it is that does go with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Everybody understands? The good in this life, they are strong and of a good courage. These are people who are fearless, man, who don't back down from anything, who aren't constantly stressed out and constantly worried and constantly unsure of what is to come next. Why? Because they are strong and of good courage. They got good faith. They know that the Lord is with them. They know they ain't have nothing to worry about, man. Everything is going to be okay. These are the people who are the good in life. Everybody understand? Let's continue on. Let's get um hold up. Let's get in Exodus chapter 23, verse 22. All right, Exodus chapter 23, verse 22 says, "But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies and an adversary unto thine adversaries." Everybody understands? This is the Lord telling the children of Israel that if we would obey his voice, that he would be an enemy to our enemies and an adversary to our adversaries. You understand? There are certain people in life who are untouchable. Meaning what? You can't hurt them. You can't harm them. You can't destroy them. Why? Because they are protected by the Most High. Why are they protected by the Most High? Because they obey him and they serve him and they do what he said to do. Everybody understands. And we all know people in life who are this way. Meaning people who, man, they ain't got a evil bone in their body. They wouldn't do nothing to hurt anybody. They wouldn't, they loving and caring and supportive and faithful and honorable and righteous. You understand? Like I talked about yesterday in class, there's always been people on the earth who served the Lord with what they knew to serve him with. Everybody understand? There was a lot of, excuse me, there were people in the generation that came before us who never knew the truth, but they knew the spirit of God. They had some righteousness in them. They did all the good that they knew to do, and you know, they were as good God fearing Christians as they could be with what they were given to understand. Everybody understands. These are the types of people who have been the good in our life. All of us in our lives, if you ever, for you to come into the truth, you had to have had someone in your life who represented what was good, who represented what you aspired to be, who was kind and was caring. We've all encountered people who have helped us along the way and who was there for us. And even if they didn't have to, even if there was, nothing for them to gain, they were just good people. Those are the good in life. Everybody understands. And who's the bad? Now, if there's some people who God has put on the earth to be good, then there must be people who God put on earth to be bad. What is the bad? The bad are, let's get the scriptures, all right? Um hold on. Let's get Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. Isaiah 30 and 1 says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Most High, that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Everybody understands? The Most High said, man, destruction to the rebellious children. Meaning what? The people who refuse to hear God, the people who refuse to submit themselves to to a higher power. You understand? The people who think that God is whatever they make him to be. They can do whatever they want to do and live however they want to live, and they're good because God knows. You know what I'm saying? Because they know God. Meaning the bad are the people who don't believe that there's anything they need to be taught, who don't believe that anybody can teach them anything. People who are self-absorbed and think that they know it all and can't nobody teach them nothing, and they in tune with the universe and with the spirits. Meaning people who just they're set in their path. Yeah. They gonna be who they gonna be, and you look at them and you know you just evil. You just evil motherfucker. Excuse my language. People who have decided this is how I'm gonna be and I'm not gonna change. And there's a lot of people in life who are they're just bad, man. They're just cruel. They're unempathetic. They take advantage of other people. They scheme and they lie and they cheat and they steal. And there's no desire in them to be better or to do better. Their life is just the way it is, man, and that's how it's going to be. There are people in life who that's the way that they are. And why are they that? Why are they that way? They are that way to be examples to to other people of what not to be. Yeah. You understand? We all have known people in our lives the same way there have been good people in our lives, people who we aspire to want to be like, or people who took care of us and looked out for us and was just there and genuine and, wasn't looking for any glory or any praise or anything in return. They just were good people. But we've all known people who were just bad, people who were just horrible and evil and manipulative and just bad. Yeah. You understand? Why do those people exist? They exist so that you can see, man, I don't want to be someone who's bad. I don't want to be someone who's evil. I don't want to be someone who's miserable all the time, angry all the time. I want to have peace in my life. I don't want to be a guy I don't want to be a cat that's constantly going to jail, constantly getting locked up, having beef in the streets, having trouble, having baby mama drama. People who have those types of situations in their life, it's because that's how they're living. Their life is a reflection of what it is that they're doing. You understand? They're getting out of life what they put in. It ain't random or happenstance that all these horrible things keep happening to you. These horrible things are happening to you because you are a horrible person. You are reaping what you've sown. Everybody understands. And there are people who are like that in life to let us know that's not how you want to be. Everybody understands. We'll give you some more scriptures on the bad, all right? Give me we got woe to the rebellious children. All right, let's get Proverbs 28:9. All right. This is Proverbs chapter 28, verse 9. It says, he that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination. Everybody understands? Somebody that just refuses to hear what they need to do to get their life together. Somebody that refuses to hear that, listen, man, you on the wrong path, man. You got to get right. You got to change, man. You got to do something different in order for your circumstances to change. Someone who said, man, I don't want to hear that shit, man. Nah, man, don't try to come kick none of that truth shit to me, man. I don't try to hear none of that Bible talk you talking about. That's somebody who was the bad. Everybody understand? That's somebody who was just, they refuse to hear what's righteous. You understand? The Bible says that even their prayer shall be abomination. You understand? Keep reading. Whoso causes the righteous to go astray in an evil way, he shall fall himself into his own pit. but the upright shall have good things in possession. Everybody understands? Again, we all know people in life, all the horrible, bad things that could happen always happen to them. And it's because they are always doing bad, horrible, evil things to people. And you cannot get by in this life being a scammer and being a schemer and a scammer and a liar and a cheater and a stealer and a manipulator. Those types of people always fall into pits, always fall into traps that they set for themselves. Rather than just get right and live good, they choose to take the low route. They choose to live on their belly, so to speak. They crawling and begging and scheming and deceiving their whole life just like a snake. You understand? Those are the people who are the bad. Everybody understand? Let's get some more on this. Let's get and if y'all can think of any other scriptures, y'all let me know. Scriptures that apply to people who just have chosen to play the role of the bad and the evil person in life. Everybody understands? Give me I just had it. Oh, okay. All right. Let's get Isaiah 47:10. This is also speaking of the Bible has an entire there's an entire theme throughout the scriptures concerning the wicked, right? And all the things that pertain to the wicked. And when you read Psalms, the 10th chapter, the wicked is speaking about our oppressor. It's speaking about the devil in the earth, right? And when you read the Psalms, the 10th chapter, you can clearly see it's talking about our oppressor. But also in Psalms, the 10th chapter, I know some niggas that's like this too. You understand? And that goes to let you know that they are some of our people who have the spirit of the oppressor. It's in them to want to be what the oppressor is. And that makes them the bad. Everybody understands? So let me clarify in the larger scope of things what this class is about. The good are the children of Israel, the people who were given God's laws, given his knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, the people who the Lord chose to obey him and to follow him and to be his representatives on the earth. Everybody understands. That's the good. The bad is our oppressor, the one who was chosen to be the villain in this story. He was chosen to be the bad guy. He embodies everything that is evil and wicked and unrighteous and goes against God. Everybody understands. The ugly are the people who are caught in between, not just of the other nations, but also of our people who are caught between bad and good, who exhibit both sides at different places in their life. Everybody understands? So the good are children of Israel, the bad is the devil the Bible speaks of, and the ugly is everybody who's in between, not sure which way to go, right? Also, the good are the righteous of Israel, the bad are the sinners of Israel, and the ugly are the people who can't choose which side they want to be on. The people who are constantly bouncing back and forth between trying to be good, but also still being an evil, disgusting bastard. Everybody understand? The people who are struggling with being righteous, struggling with changing their lives and coming to the truth, who they want to serve God, but then if I serve God, that means I can't do this and can't do that. And we all know those kind of people. We all know people who look at us having changed our lives and coming to the truth, and they say, "Man, they admire you because of how much better your life is and how much better things have gotten for you." But they can't commit to it because I can't eat no pork, or they can't commit to it because. So hold on, you mean a man can have more than one wife? Even though, bitch, you know your nigga got three other bitches. You don't you deal with that. You deal with him having side chicks, but you can't deal with him having another wife. Or you'll be some nigga's side chick, but you couldn't. I can't be no second wife. Bitch, what you talking about? You just you just goofy. You just rebellious for no reason. Everybody understands. Somebody who go to church and pay tithes to a church, but coming to the truth and we say pay tithes, and they say, well, what I gotta give out of my check for? You paying tithes to the pastor who ain't doing shit for nobody. Why wouldn't you pay your tithes in the truth where we actually helping our people? So there's a lot of people in life that are just, they on the fence. They the ugly. They pretending to be good, or they act like they want to be good one day, then the next day they on some evil shit. And it's like, goddamn, what's wrong with you? Or somebody who wants to come into the truth or want to be in the truth, but they got some demon they won't let go of. Some, evil that they can't stop. Smoking cigarettes or getting high or being an alcoholic, being a whore, brothers having sex with whores. You goddamn, brother, you supposed to be honorable and righteous and dignified. Why don't you just do what's right? Those are the people who are the ugly, the people who are caught in the crossfire. Everybody understands? All right, so this scripture here applies to the devil and the bad, but it also could apply to some of our people. Isaiah 47:10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it has perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Everybody understands? You ever known somebody who thought they knew too much to be in the truth? Nah, man, I know about that Bible, man. See, yeah, that Bible was made by white people, man. Yeah, Shakespeare wrote that Bible. Nigga, what the fuck is, excuse my language, the fuck is you talking about, nigga? That ain't, none of that shit is real. Yeah, man, see, because you don't understand, brother. See, the words of that book been changed over time, man. So it's okay, show me something that's been changed. Oh, well, man, it's all been tampered with, brother. You can't believe that. See, I don't follow no books, man. I believe, okay, who's the first president of the United States of America? Oh, that would be George Washington. Nigga, how you know? Oh, because I read it in a book. But you just said you don't read no books, my nigga. Nobody teach you nothing out of a book. Nigga, you think you know it all. You understand? All the time I bump into these tarot card bitches and these I'm zodiac sign hoes. Bitch, you goofy as you more goofier than a peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwich hoe. You just don't even understand. None of that shit you talking about make any kind of sense, bitch. You mean to tell me you decide who you give that vagina to based off of what time of the month a nigga was born? Well, bitch, what if I was born in July, but I told you I was born in October because I know that's the Scorpio season and hoes want a freaky nigga? Then what? Bitch, you dumb. Ho, you goofy. Like that your whole life don't even make no sense because it's based off of something that makes no sense. But because you done studied a little bit of it and listen, if another woman ever to me in life says, Mercury in retrograde, so that bitch, what does that mean, ho? Bitch, don't talk to me about no Mercury. Don't talk to me about no Mars and no Venus because I might snap off on you. Everybody understands. But there are people in life who think that they know it all. They know too much to be taught anything. No sweat. You think you better than God. You think I am a God, brother. See, you looking for God in the book. I am God. Okay, nigga. And what does that mean for your life? What does being God mean for your existence on the earth? They can't answer that. People they don't even know the idea that their God is a demon. That's mental illness right there. You think that it's ridiculous. But being in the truth, on the good side, you look at it like, man, they lost as hell. But to them, you lost because you were in the light and they in the darkness. Everybody understands. So we all have different perspectives. You understand what I'm saying? But the Bible is clarifying who is the bad. The person who believes that their wisdom and their understanding supersedes everyone else's because they're great. When in the truth, we believe the same thing. Our wisdom and our understanding puts us above certain people, but not because we special, but because we believe in what God said. We're dedicating our lives to something that's greater than us. It's very difficult. It's impossible for anyone in the truth to believe that they are greater or on a level with the Most High. Because anyone who's in the truth knows everything I have because God was merciful, because the Lord bestowed it on me. Everybody understands. And be careful for anyone who says that they are God, or they are on the level with God. Everybody understand? Anyone that doesn't go out of their way to acknowledge the Most High and to give Him the praise and to give Him the glory, be weary of that. Just watch it and see it and say, well, damn, that's kind of okay. No sweat. I hear what they're saying, but why are they taking the credit for that? Why are they doing this and that? The Bible say the Lord gets all the glory and the credit. Be mindful of that. Everybody understand? And just watch as everybody plays out their role. Everybody understands? One more scripture on the bad, and we're gonna get what is this? Oh, here we go. We get Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11. Again, man, you read the book of Ecclesiastes, it's real heavy. If you ever at a place in your life where you feeling lost or feeling like, man, I wish I would have did this, I wish I would have did that, go read the book of Ecclesiastes and you'll realize you ain't missed out on nothing. You understand? I mean, there was times in the world, times in the truth where, I would get moments where I would think to myself like, man, what if I would have kept that job? What if I would have got all that money? Man, I'm counting the years. I'm X amount. I'm this years old now. Man, I'd be 16 years in. I had 17 years in. Damn, I'd be looking at retirement in about another 10 years. But then what stops that is understanding that all of the knowledge, all of the wealth of experience that I've gained being in the truth, no amount of money could compare to that. Like I couldn't imagine having money but not having any wisdom or understanding of how to live right in the earth. I couldn't imagine staying in the world and being depressed and miserable and not having a purpose and trying to find my way. But hey, I got, 500,000 in my 401k. Like, goddamn, I would rather not be depressed and not be lost and not be searching for a purpose than to have a whole bunch of money in my account and being completely miserable and depressed. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people who I know that is the condition of their life. They put on a good front. Yeah, man, I got this money. I got this house and these kids and this car, man. Everything is wonderful. But I know you're miserable in your relationship because of the dysfunctionality that exists between you and your woman. I know that you're completely miserable with these kids because they are not being raised the way you want to raise them, but you have no power to change your situation or your circumstances, so you just accept that this is life. I know plenty of people who are afraid of changing anything in their life because everything that's being held together is so fragile right now. If they were to make any changes or do anything different than what they've always done, they might lose their marriage. They might lose their family, might lose their house. I couldn't live in no fear like that. God damn. I know men who are under immense pressure of having to keep this bitch happy because this bitch is half a second away from leaving me, taking these kids, putting me on child support, and just ruining my fucking life. So I gotta keep this bitch happy and keep this bitch in line because God forbid she decides to ruin my life one day. Damn that. Man. I thank the Lord for the truth. Because what would have kept me from being one of those niggas? Yeah. And I remember, man, I know y'all, I'll be sidebarring a lot in these classes, and I apologize. But a lot of time, these classes is therapeutic for me because the Lord allows me to be able to analyze my own situation and circumstances as I be teaching these classes. I just want to apologize to y'all if I be sidebarring too much, right? Most high Christ, you know what I'm saying? But man, I remember when I was young in my career, when I started working and I was slaving when I was in the world, I met a lot of old guys who had families and who had made a lot of money. Like they were at the place I wanted to be in life and were just absolutely miserable. Man, I remember these cats talking about, yeah, man, Friday is payday. I'm young. I'm 21, man. Man, go out, man. Get some happy hour, man. Get something to drink and something to eat. Oh nah, man. I can't do it this week, man. Shit, I only got like 150 till next week. I'm like, nigga, we just work overtime. Like, I'm only making 700 this week. Nigga, you done made like 1,800. What you mean you only got 150 till the next payday? And the nigga like, well, the wife, man, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get a check to her, man. In my mind, I'm like, you a whole grown ass man talking about you only got 150 the next week, and you gave your wife the check, nigga. Why? Like, why that bitch get to tell you only got 150 till next week? When we working hard and shit out here, you can't go get no drinks with me, nigga, after work. Oh nah, man, I gotta get home to the wife, man. Yeah, I can't be. I gotta be there by 6. And in my mind, I'm like, you gotta be home by 6. We started work at 6 in the morning, which meant we got up at 5 to drive to work. Like we grown ass working men. Right. You can't hang out for a couple hours after work, my nigga. You got to get home by 6. And I never said these things out loud, but in my mind, it's like, damn, bro. I don't want to live like fuck that. Excuse my language. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? I remember niggas sayings that these grown men had. It's cheaper to keep her, youngin. Cheaper to keep her. Listen, y'all be tripping over happy wife, happy life. These is grown ass men. Yeah, man, cheaper to keep her, man. Yeah, man, my youngest will be 18 by another 12 years, man. I'll be free then. Like, these niggas are waiting for their youngest child to be an adult so they can leave this bitch. So I can divorce this hoe, but I can't leave her right now. And if he knows he can't leave her, she knows he can't leave her. So imagine what power that give her to just ruin a nigga's whole life. And you gotta suffer it and endure it because it's cheaper to keep it. It's cheaper to, oh my God. Oh my, I'm remembering now why I was ready to leave that fucking job. I'm talking about, y'all, I was 23 years old, coming into the what was pitched to me as a elite career path. Being an electrician, oh man, you getting so much money, you're working good hours in the union, and you protected, and you working safe, and it was a wonderful. The idea of it was wonderful, but the practical application of this career and all that came with it in life was really, it was a trap. And I'm not saying that it's that way for everybody. For me, the way it unfolded, I would have absolutely been imprisoned in that career. And if I would have had time to meet a woman and get married and have kids and get a house, the more things that I would have been able to afford myself because of that career, the more trapped I would have been in that career. The Lord allowed me to escape before I really needed it in my life. Like, I was 23 years old. I had a car, but before I could leave out my mother's house and buy a house or have a goddamn apartment or any of that stuff that would have really tied me to this job, man, the Lord got me out. And I can remember just being so distraught about it, being so broken about, damn, man, I'm a failure, man. I didn't do it. I just knew this was it. I didn't go to college. I done wasted the last 5 years of my life. All my friends are graduating college and they getting these jobs, government jobs. What the fuck am I going to do? What the fuck am I going to do, man? Damn. I just remembered stressing. This is the pain of it. And then a week later, I found the truth. And I went and got counsel. Hey, man, I had this job, at this career. And I remember being told in the counsel, brother, don't even worry about that. Let that job go. The Lord going to take care of you. The Lord going to provide for you through this truth. You serve the Lord and you do what you're supposed to do. You're going to be all right. And I remember I believed it. But in my mind, I'm gonna get paid off the truth. The truth going, I'm gonna be getting money because I didn't know these brothers at that time. I'm thinking they getting money. I'm thinking Muhammad and them up and down the road every week. I'm thinking they getting money, only to get into school and to find out Muhammad catching the China bus down here every week. My gentleman, y'all catching the China bus. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying, but. When I found out, it ain't like, oh, they catching the China bus. It was like, shit, the China bus only $10. That's sweet. Yeah. You had to go from Philly to DC on the China bus every week. That's sweet until I took the trip. And the China bus is not a good bus to catch. It's called the China bus for a reason. because that shit is run down in horrible conditions, and don't sit near the back because it smell like piss and shit. The China bus was not a good experience. But learning that and then being able to follow in the footsteps of what General Hyman and them brothers was doing, it made me realize just how hard they had worked to get us to come into the school. And it made me admire and honor them for all the work they put in. Even today, man, it's a beautiful thing to be able to see General Hyman traveling all across the country to go to these different schools. Give him a hand. You know what I'm saying? General Hyman a hand. Watching General Hyman teach a class from Oakland and teach a class from Houston and teach a class in Nashville, knowing that he used to get on the China bus to go up and down to DC every week. It's amazing. You know what I'm saying? In my short time in the truth, I remember he was on that China bus, and he went from that China bus to now he flying on planes. He's getting on planes and going to the steps of the courthouse where the Black Panthers were standing. All of that, for those of us who've been around, it's like, man, the Lord is good. Most High has done an amazing thing with this truth. But if it wasn't for brothers like him doing what he did, we wouldn't have it. I remember, I look at Captain Tazaryak. A lot of y'all know Tazaryak from battling on the streets with Polite and doing amazing things like he's been doing. I remember Tazaryak used to drive to the Philly school from New York every day, 3 days a week. And him talking about he not close to Philly. He about 2 hours into Jersey. But Tazaryak would drive every day into Jersey to come to class, to hold a shamar on Monday class, to do General Yohana's radio show, Wednesday class to teach, Thursday class for scripture breakdown. Like Captain Tazaryak was doing it. And I didn't learn until about 6 months into living in Philly that he was driving every day, passing right by my house. I caught the bus and the train in the class every day, 2 hours one way to go to class when I was living in Philly. You know what I'm saying? Because I came into the truth. I'm thinking I'm gonna be living in Philly in the rough, mean streets of Philly. Nope, I was in the suburbs. My rib was not having none of that trifling Philly living. She was we out there where there's white people walking their dogs at. But guess what? I had to go to class, and I wasn't driving at the time, so I'm out there in military fatigues and boots, shields all over me. I'm going to get on the bus. I had to catch a bus that was 45 minutes. Don't miss the bus because now I got to wait a half an hour. That add an hour. I add a half an hour to my 45-minute travel. Then I got to get on the train, which is about an hour ride to the other from one end of Philly to the whole other side of the train system to the last stop to get to the school. Then it's about a 10-minute walk to the school, do class, whatever we're doing, get done, leaving the school and Monday nights, I'm leaving the school about 11. Yeah. So I'm catching the last train, last bus. I'm not getting home till about 1:30 in the morning. You know, weekend, rest of the week, forget about it. I'm getting home 11:30, 12 o'clock. And then I found out Tazaryak was driving in every day. Like, can you pick a nigga up? Can you get a ride? I'll give you gas money. So me and Tazaryak, we did that travel together for a good little while. That's how we got close, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I say all that to say, man, niggas put in work. This was my career. You know what I'm saying? I prayed. I wasn't sure how I was going to be able to make it when I was no longer an electrician, but the Lord carved a way for me. And man, it was work. Yeah. Every day, work. This truth was work. And that's why, look at everything that we've accomplished and that the Lord has allowed us to be able to do. Man, it's like, what are you going to complain about? That's why I'm moving down here to Memphis and building a school. And I talk a lot about my experience and the things that I've been through. Man, ain't never been a bad day. Because how could it? Look at what we came from. Look at where it started. You know what I'm saying? I would never complain about any of this because it's what the Lord chose for me. You know what I'm saying? And that goes into the role the good plays. When you serving the Most High out of a righteous spirit, it's never grievous. It's never work. It's never, I gotta get up and do this again. I ain't never felt that way about going to camp. I ain't never felt that way about, picking up the phone for counsel. I ain't never felt that way about helping somebody in a situation. It's always been a labor of love because this is what the Lord chose for me, man. The Lord did this for me. I didn't wake up one day and decide that I was going to be a man of God. This is something that the Lord did for me. Everybody understands? And that's important because there are people who they will never experience that peace. They'll never understand having that purpose, having that fulfillment, that man, I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing exactly what God put me down here to do. And that's something that the people who are not on the side of the good can relate to. Everybody understands? All right, let's get back. We're on Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11. You understand? And this is the scripture, last scripture we're going to pull that applies to the bad. All right. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11 says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Everybody understands? In life, not everything happens at once. There are people who have carved out a life for themselves doing evil and living wickedly. And they are in that position to tempt other men, to tempt other people. Everybody understands? The preacher, Solomon here said some people get drawn into sin because they see sinners and nothing bad happens to them. You ever met somebody who okay, I had a conversation with a sister the other day. This is a sister who inquired about coming to class. And I reached out to the sister and asked her, why you ain't, you never came to class? This what's going on. And the conversation, without portraying any confidences, the conversation was sort of like, man, I be going through a lot, but God always gets me through. You know what I'm saying? I'm always, I always feel like I'm by myself. Nobody cares about me, and I just be going through stuff. But God give His toughest battles to His strongest soldiers. And I, in reply, was, well, if you feel like you by yourself, the response was, you shouldn't have to feel like you by yourself. If God always sees you through and you're not doing nothing He said to do, how much more would He see you through if you obeyed Him? If you felt like one of the things she said was, it seems like the bad apple always gets the victory or something. And I said, well, if you're the bad apple and God always sees you through, what if you became the good apple? Like, what if you actually tried to be a good child? Actually tried to be someone the Lord would make His favorite. That's another thing she said was she feel like she ain't His favorite, but He always look out for her. Well, goddamn, what if you were His favorite? What if you was God's favorite? What if you worked to be His favorite if He already taking care of you now, already seeing you through your difficult times? How much more better would your life be if you was His favorite? If you're a bad apple and He look out for you, how much better would your life be if you was a good apple? And that's in life. People don't know that there's a role that they play in how God deals with them too. A lot of our people don't realize that all these things are happening to you because of what you're doing. You are responsible for your life being this way. I remember before the truth, going through the ups and downs of of life. You go through times in your life where you elevating and things is working out for you and everything is going good, and then something happens and it's like, damn, man, now everything going bad. Now everything falling apart. I'm stressing. I'm worried about this and that. But you got to remember, man, I just was up. I just was winning. Everything was just getting better for me. I knew that I had that cycle before I came into the truth. So once I came into the truth, I understood that that's just a part of life. But before the truth, I just felt like I can't win, man. I can't never get ahead. Why is this shit always happening to me? Then I came into the truth and realized it's always happening to me because I'm always doing stupid stuff to put myself in bad positions. You know what I'm saying? But when I came into the truth and understood that, and I was no longer putting myself in bad positions, then I understood, man, it's just a test. It's just a part of life, man. All I got to do is endure and get through it. Hey, I just was doing good a month ago. Everything was working out for me. Everything was looking up. Now it looks like everything is doing bad. Everything is falling apart. Man, let me give it another month and see what it's looking like. And that's people without the truth. You don't really have that perspective. You don't really understand that, man, this shit is all temporary. I just got to get through it. I just got to go through it. But maybe if I did something different this time, maybe it wouldn't be. Maybe I wouldn't keep ending up in the situation if I did something different. And coming into the truth is absolutely something that is going to allow you to be in a position in life where you're not going through trials and tribulations feeling attacked or feeling like, why me? You're going through it now, understanding it's just the Lord chose me for this. This is just a temporary struggle to see if I'm prepared for the blessing that's going to come afterwards. Everybody understands? A lot of people don't have that perspective without the truth. You understand? A lot of people will look at someone in our times of trouble. We look at someone who's evil and who's not serving God and who's way worse than us, and it looks like they winning. Looks like they on top. I can imagine what it's like being a righteous woman. And you look on the internet and you see all these hoes and these sluts, and they got all these likes and all these men in their DMs, and you think to yourself, well, damn, these hoes are winning. Why is like these hoes is getting all the attention? I could see how that might be difficult for some women. But the reality is them hoes is miserable as hell. Them broads hate their life. They on the internet for likes because they don't get the like that they have in real life. They don't appreciate it. They don't value it. A lot of them women, they cry themselves to sleep at night because of the depression and the sadness because of not having any substance in their relationships. I remember what it was like being a cat in the world that had money and had this and that and had attention of women. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna be frank. I remember having the attention of the prettiest women, the finest women, the women in the club that niggas is like gawking after. And I remember there was a time when I didn't get no attention from them women. They look at me and you fat on you this and the bitches act funny towards me. All right, bitch, whatever. Ho, you ain't shit anyway. That's my mentality always. Bitch, you ain't shit anyway. Whatever. But when I got money and I became the nigga in the club with the you know what I'm saying, with the nice clothes, and I'm in the VIP with the bottles. Oh, now these pretty hoes want to give me the attention. Now they all on me. Damn, now the roles reversed, and I used to look at them hoes like, bitch, you ain't shit. You ain't nothing. You lower than dirt to me, ho. Because just 6 months ago, I was a fat nigga who couldn't even talk to you, bitch. Now that I got this money, you can't talk to me now, ho. Don't talk to me, bitch. Don't look at my way. Don't look at me, ho. I ain't gonna lie, I was bad on I was bad on the woman back then. Even now I'm bad. Don't look at me, bitch. What you looking at me for, ho? I was bad on them women, man. But that experience made me resent them. It made me hate them. My whole life watching videos and lusting after these women, these pretty women, just to find out in real life these hoes ain't got no substance. They ain't got no personality. These bitch ain't got nothing to offer. They just all you is good to look at. Damn. Then I think about the niggas who get with those types of women and think they got them a trophy. Yeah, man. And it's like, brother, that bitch ain't shit, my nigga. She don't cook. She don't clean. She think you supposed to worship her because what? Because you pretty? Because you ain't even that pretty. Ho, get you home. Take that weave off. Wash that face. Get that lipstick up. Bitch, you is not bad. A lot of these women these pretty women, they more self-conscious and insecure than the average beautiful sister. You understand what I'm saying? And what we've been taught that video girl look is what we supposed to be lusting after, when there's a whole lot of badass fine women in these dresses and these head wraps. They right here in the ISUPK, just beautiful as they can be, humble and loving. Be careful though, because some of them used to be that broad in the world. You got to be careful. Don't get fooled by that dress and that headpiece. She really is a video girl. You don't know till you marry her and find out she got all video bitch problems. She don't cook. She don't clean, my nigga. But she tell you how she got that ring. Some of them like that. You got to be careful, brothers. Watch out. Let me get off of that. You understand? But the point of that is everybody, you know what I'm saying, as you go through life, you got to learn to appreciate what's for you. You can't live your life being jealous of what someone else has, because you don't know what their life is really like. So when you down bad and you going through it, you may see somebody who you know is a sinner and who's evil, but it looked like they doing good. Look like they I remember, being young, the niggas who hustled where I grew up, man, these niggas like they had money. They was getting money and getting women, and they gangsters and they thorough, just to find out, man, these niggas is living in stress and trauma every day. Yeah, he got that nice car, brother, but he cannot even ride down the street comfortably because he has to have a gun on him in case he runs into his enemies. But God forbid the police pull up behind him because he got a gun and he got a charge already. God damn, his life is absolutely miserable. He got a little bit of money, but he's staying in this little he's staying in this little apartment in the hood because he can't go nowhere else. He can't go live in no nice neighborhood, driving the car he drive and living the life he live, because he's gonna be getting pulled over and getting locked up. So it's a lot you might don't ever be jealous or envious of what somebody else has because you don't know what they're going through or what they had to do to get it. And that's a lesson that I'm thankful that I learned at a young age. But being in the truth, man, people are going through it. They in hell. And if the Lord has allowed you to have some peace and to have some solitude and to have some stability serving him, and be thankful for that. Don't ever let that go. Everybody understands? One more time, this is Ecclesiastes 8 and 11 says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, meaning because the judgment against somebody who's evil doesn't come down quick. Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Because of that, men think that they can get away with doing evil forever. There's shows that I won't watch, like that BMF show, right? I will not watch BMF. It's a show about the Black Mafia family, some drug dealers in Atlanta in the early 2000s. And I refuse to watch the BMF because them niggas was absolutely the worst types of people to be in our community. They're men who got rich selling drugs, selling cocaine, selling crack, which destroyed our people. But the show chronicles their rise and their success and them having money and all of the gang, whatever they went through, and glorifying this lifestyle that they afforded themselves by poisoning their people. You understand? And I won't watch it because in the end, I know what happens. All them niggas go to jail or die. Like, why would I want to indulge in the story of all of this riches and fame and having money, knowing that they got destroyed in the end because of it? Yeah. There's people now saying free Big Meech, free Big. Why? Free Big Meech for what? So he can come back and sell more dope. So he can come back and be the cause for more death and destruction. No, I'm not. Fuck. Salaki. I'm not partaking in any of it because all of it is our oppressor trying to drive the point home to us that Big Meech did it. You can do it too. Yeah. Man, damn that. Big Meech, no, he lived and did it big. BMF, they was out there in the streets, but they knew that one day they all had to sit in that courtroom and they all had to hear guilty and they all had to be told that their sentence was going to be 86 months, 84 months. Do the math on that. Nigga gets sentenced to 84 months, nigga. That go ahead. Do your thing. Be a drug dealer. You understand? If you're trying to do the math, 84 months is 7 years. You get 84 months. You get 96 months. Some nigga get 128 months in prison. That means 128 turns of the calendar before your ass come home. It ain't worth it. Everybody understands. But because for some men, it takes a while for that sentence to be executed, they go full-fledged into doing evil and living wickedly. Everybody understand? Right. Ecclesiastes 8 and 12. Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear God, which fear before him. Right. Everybody understands? Even though a sinner may do evil 100 times, and his days are prolonged, meaning he don't die quickly, it shall be well with them that fear God, which fear before him. In the end, it's better to the life of the good is better than the life of the bad. Because the life of those who choose to be the bad, eventually one day they're going to have to face the Lord. But those who choose to be the good, they look forward to the day when they get to see the Lord. Everybody understands? Verse 13. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before God. You understand? What does it mean that the wicked's days are as a shadow? He shall not prolong his days, which are as a shadow. What does that mean? If your days are as a shadow. It's figurative language, but it's making a heavy point. What does it mean that someone's days are like a shadow on the earth? It goes back to what I was saying earlier about the life I had before the truth. Getting money, partying, doing it big, versus the life that I had once I came into the truth, which is teaching and camps and going out and speaking and going to different places. It's when your days are as a shadow, your days are short and they're not remembered. Everybody understands? Does anybody remember a shadow? Ever been a shadow that you saw and you remembered it? Nah, you don't remember a shadow because it's here one day and gone the next. Someone who lives a wicked life, right? How many, like, okay, I sit in these classes, right? And I tell y'all about, partying and doing it big and in the club with the VIP. Right. But okay, I don't remember them nights. How could I remember them? I was drunk. I was high. I was not honoring. It wasn't honorable those days and that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't anything worth committing to memory because it all just happened so fast. Yeah. It's not like living a life like I remember every trip that I've taken since being in the truth. I remember the first time we went to an event in Detroit. First time we went to a fire weekend in Chicago. I remember the first time that they had a cookout in Houston because those are things that you commit to memory. They are fulfillments in life. But being in the club and partying is like nobody remember that. You know what I'm saying? Even it's just none of the things that aren't glorying the Most High are worth remembering. You understand? You find a man who deals with a lot of women, who's a whoremonger, and he can't remember them hoes. He can't remember the one before the last one. And it's like, what's the point then, bro? Like, what's someone who sells drugs and get a lot of money? They don't remember the last. I mean, it's nothing you do that's wicked can be preserved. Nothing that you do that's wicked can be, contained. You can really embrace it and glory in it. Only things that you can do that with in life are things that are glorifying to the Lord. Everybody understands. And whether or not, I mean, the Bible is telling us that it's clearly something that the Lord has established. You understand? The days of the wicked are as a shadow, but it's a perfect way to describe living a fast life. Live a fast life, man. Here today, gone tomorrow. And you can grasp and try to reclaim those days, but it's like, who cares? It's over. Everybody understands. Make me think of the movie Paid in Full. And I don't know if anybody's seen the movie Paid in Full, but there's a scene at the end of the movie Paid in Full where the cat is watching a movie. He's watching the set of a music video where they had a music video and they pretending to be like they on a block and they throwing money and they got they minks and stuff on. And he was saying how the music video was mimicking the life that they actually lived, right? These cats outpulling them hustlers in New York and Harlem back in the days. And you watch it and it's like, who even remembers those nights? Who even remembers these niggas? Yeah. Like at one point in life, you was big bad drug dealing cat with the money on the block, and then you get shot, your man die, you go to jail, or the whole crew gets dispersed, and it's like it never ever happened. Nobody remembers none of that shit. Being there, where I grew up at, all the apartments where I grew up, the Esau came and knocked them all down. Gentrification came through; they knocked down all the projects, and I just think for entire generations of black people, this was home. This is where we live, man. This is what life was, and then Esau just come knock it all down. And now, where's your history? Where's all that life you lived, and what of it, nigga? It's gone now. It's as a shadow. It's past. Everybody understands. So we off on that. Last scripture, we're gonna get one for the ugly. All right. And there's a lot more scriptures, of course, we could have went into for all of these, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this one. Get this one for now. All right. Actually, I got two scriptures we're gonna get. All right, let's get James chapter 1, verse 8. James chapter 1, verse 8. All right, this is James chapter 1, verse 8. It says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You understand? What is someone that's double-minded? Someone that's torn between two paths, torn between the good and the bad. Someone who's double-minded, they are unstable. Not somebody you can depend on, somebody that you can rely on.
That's right.
Everybody understands. And you don't want to be that type of person. Someone who's living a double-minded life, that is the worst kind of life to live. You understand? It's one thing to choose good or choose bad. You know what side you're on. You know where you belong. But to be somebody that's caught in the middle, man, that's rough. Because there's constantly a turmoil inside of you, constantly a fighting over who you would like to be versus who you are.
Right.
But when you are on the side of the good, you know who you are. You know how you're living, and you're able to fight that thing that's trying to pull you to the other side. And when you're someone who's the bad, hey man, this is what it is. Life is what it is. You've decided that you are going to this path of unrighteousness and wickedness. That's the path you on. You walking it. But when you were in the middle, man, things get ugly.
That's right.
You understand? A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Let me get one more. Let me get Revelation chapter 3, verse 15. All right. This is Revelation chapter 3, verse 15. Hold on. It says, I know. So I'm going to read verse 14 first. And unto the angel of the church of the Laodiceans write, these things saith the Amen, the faithful and true witness, the beginning of the creation of God. I know thy works, that thou art either cold nor hot. I would thou were cold or hot. Meaning the Lord would prefer you choose a side. If you're going to be good, be good. If you're going to be bad, be bad. It's better to choose a side. Because thou, so like in verse 16, so then because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Everybody understands. Why is that? Because if you're someone who's bad, there's always a chance you could change. There's a chance that God could do something in your life where you can be born again, have a new beginning. But if you're somebody who's lukewarm, you're really playing with the Lord. It's one thing to be ignorant, to not know, to be lost, to be in the darkness. It's another thing to see the light and know the light, but kind of play with being in the light sometimes. But then that really, I'm in the truth today, but then tomorrow, man, I ain't, you got an attitude, or you're angry, or you in the truth, but you don't want to handle your responsibilities and do what you're told to do. So when you get checked, you throwing a hissy fit. Goddamn, don't be like that.
Yeah.
Be somebody who's on one side or the other. Don't be on the fence, because there ain't no fence to be on. Everybody understands. It's better that you decide, man, I'm ready to serve the Lord, or you decide, nah, I know I ain't gonna be able to do this, man. I'm still in the world.
Yeah.
Everybody understands. Then for you to be pretending to be in the truth when really behind closed doors you're an evil, disgusting bastard. Everybody understands.
Right.
Sis.
So the people that you mentioned, the ugly, that's the lukewarm.
The ugly is the people who are in between. The people who are on the wrong side. Why are they the ugly? Because they set a bad precedent for the good. Somebody who's pretends to be righteous, but they're a hypocrite. God damn, you're making the rest of us look bad.
That's right.
You're making it ugly for us because we are the good. You pretending to be one of us, but those who are bad see you dabbling and dibbling on their side. You're ugly. You're disgusting. At least the crackhead know he a crackhead. But the Christian believes that they're pious and righteous, but they do all the things the crackhead do, including the crack. God damn. You give a bad taste for all the people who are good. All of the so-called Christians who claim to love God and Jesus saved and sanctified, but your daughter get pregnant and you take her to go murder the baby. God damn. What kind of evil monster are you? You teach your daughter to murder the baby because Jesus knows her heart. Jesus knows she ain't ready for that baby. How, bitch? When God gave her the baby. How you gonna tell God? You gonna tell God, or how you gonna tell this child, this girl, she not ready for this baby when she laid down and had the sex to get pregnant? But because you don't want your reputation to be ruined, because you don't want the people in the church to look at you like you a bad parent, you gonna make your daughter murder her child? That's the ugly. Hiding sin. I mean, that's Christianity is the ugly. Yeah. People who pretend to be of God but really are evil. They are the ugly. And we all have known those people in life. We've all known the good, we've known the bad, and we know the ugly. Everybody understands. Decide what role you are going to play in life. If the Lord has chosen you to receive this knowledge and this understanding, then you should be on the side of the good. If you're someone who's not yet ready, or you see the truth and you hear it, but you know that you're not ready to commit to it, don't play with it. Don't pretend. Stay on that side until you're ready. And if you're someone who's in between, then you got to get it right now, or else there will be no hope for you. Everybody understands. With that, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, out of 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York, since 1969, the Israelite School of UPK has been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. In the year 2023, there's nothing more important than for God's chosen people to find out the truth of who they are, where they come from, and what their purpose is here on this earth. We have classes here in Memphis from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, Tuesday through Thursday. You brothers and sisters come get in class with us. The school address is 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. Again, 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. If you need any help, assistance, or guidance, you can call us at 901-249-0085. Again, 901-249-0085 is the calling number for the school. And with that, we'll see y'all tomorrow for scripture breakdown. Shalom, Israel.